Yo, what is poppin'? It's your boy Mr.BandClap, and we in the building with another short video. Had to bring out my other shades today because I lost my blue one, so hopefully I find those. The last video that I did where I showed a reading, I was talking about what mythology do you represent. So on this one, I talk so much about, especially when we're doing celebrity breakdowns and stuff like that, especially the podcast that I did on Lizzo and Beyonce. One of the biggest things that I learned with breaking down these celebrities is that sometimes when you're trying to figure out what is it that you're supposed to be doing in your life, you're trying to figure out why things are stagnant, why things aren't going the way that they're supposed to go. Sometimes it can literally be as simple as breaking down your own name. One thing when you're talking about consciousness and you join a community that's about consciousness and all these type of things, you having to unlearn the things that you thought meant something, and now you're in this community of people who seem like they got it all figured out and stuff like that. One thing that I notice is that sometimes we can have a tendency of making things too hard when it can all be so simple. And in my readings, especially my Everything is Everything readings, that is the main thing that I try to show people. A lot of times when you're going through different things in your life, a lot of times when you're going through different hardships and stuff like that, and you don't know where to go, you don't know where to turn, you don't know the next move. Sometimes before you go out and ask for a reading from someone else, using the few tools that you know about yourself, like breaking down your name, it can literally unlock so much. It can literally give you so much information. It can give you so much. And when I do these readings, especially when I'm giving readings to mothers and stuff like that, I really have to stress the fact that choosing the name for your child is going to be one of the most important things that you're going to do, because whether you understand this or not, your child is going to have to live up to that name, either one way or another. I've heard so many instances where I'm talking to people who are mothers or people who are fathers, and they will say that their children's name came in a dream, or it was an elder that looked at that child and gave that child a special name, and then that child grows up and they're actually someone that has a very divine calling on their life. So if you're a new parent, or you're about to be a parent, and you're having a dream, and this dream is like, name me this, name your child this, that's actually your child as a spirit telling you what it wants its name to be, and who are you to go against that, So this is a clip from a reading that I did not too long ago, and this is just a example of me breaking down someone's name and getting so much information, just breaking down their first name and their middle name, that I damn near didn't even have to finish the reading. And that's usually how it is. I break down your first and middle name, and sometimes before I even get to the last name, the person is either breaking down, or they're like, yo, I can't believe you was able to get all of that just by doing that. It's always a very motivating thing to see. And remember, me breaking down my own name, that's the reason why I started doing this. That's the reason why I added this to my readings, is because when I broke down my own name, and every time I learn some new knowledge, I go back and break my name down again, and I do it again. And it's like every time I break my name down, I come across something new. I come across something motivating, something that makes me want to keep trying. And in this time that we're in right now, there's a lot of depression, a lot of confusion. People don't know where to turn. They don't know who they are. You got people that slowly waking up, and the conscious community as we know it is falling. So there's going to be some baby souls that are going to be waking up, and they're not going to know where to turn. They're not going to know where to go. So if you are a baby soul out there, and you're having these questions, you don't know where to turn, you don't know where to go, I would suggest you to start off by breaking down your own name, breaking it down in many different ways. And sometimes that alone can put you on the road that you need to be on. So like I said, this is a real reading. This is someone that I got permission to use their recording, so I can use this as an example. Some things are blurred out because this reading got real deep real fast, but if you too would like to get a consultation or a reading from me, or if you want to join my shadow work class, also go to my website, www.bandclaptv.com. All right, this is my short. I hope y'all enjoy this, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. So one thing that I noticed in that podcast was how, sometimes you're trying to figure out who you are. You're trying to figure out why things aren't working out the way they should and all of that. Sometimes it can literally be as deep. It can literally be as simple as you're not living up to your own name. Mm-hmm. One thing about this, being in the conscious community, a lot of times, you have the tendency to make simple things hard.
Right.
You think it
I do. I making it so hard.
Yeah, but it's really simple. Like, there's so many simple things that we used to do as children, to tap into the spirit world. Little simple stuff. But then the more you get amalgamated to this world that we're in, you got to quote unquote grow up. You forget about those little things that you used to do back in the day that was so divine.
Yeah.
So that's how I start my readings off. The same way that I would break down a celebrity, I just use that and use that same method, and this is how I do my Everything is Everything reading.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So your first name is Isha, and it is a Arabic name, and it means woman, life. It means woman, and it means life. So that's very interesting.
I never even seen that definition. It's been a while since I looked up my name anyway, but I never even seen that one before.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
And when you look up life as a noun, it means the condition that distinguishes animals and plants from inorganic matter, including the capacity for growth, reproduction, functional activity, and continual change preceding death. This is what your first name represents. So automatically, when you're looking at this from a spiritual standpoint, this is already talking about somebody who's going to grow up to be misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just in your first name, because you have something inside of you that distinguishes you from the animals and the plants. Or when you say animals, this is people who are acting in their lower natures. And then you got the plants. These represent people who are super religious. They may be super vegan. They may be super on the earthy side.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, they kind of look at that as what life is. They can only go as far as this earthly realm when it comes to life. So they think that if they just be a vegan, if they just follow this religion, if they just do what God tells them to do or whatever, they'll be living life.
Okay.
So this shows that you came down here with a type of consciousness that's going to automatically rebel from the system.
Yes.
Very, very important.
Okay.
And the thing about it is, since you have this essence inside of you, this is going to always give you the ability to rebirth yourself. It's going to always give you the ability to change. It's going to give you the ability to want to reproduce. And it's going to give you that ability to where you can always bounce back from a situation that, other people would just count you out.
Mm-hmm.
That's
happened multiple times.
You said what?
That's happened multiple times.
Mm-hmm. But it's all about this spark of life, this spark that you have. With this being your first name, this is something that you probably knew about this since you was a child. Is that true?
Yes.
Yep. Like you was a child looking around like, God damn, you like a 10-year-old, or you're like a 7-year-old. Like, damn, I got to go through 10 more years of this bullshit before I'm grown.
That's really how I was, though.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was grown, I was kind of stuck there. It was really weird.
Yeah. Because it's like, damn, like, is this what being an adult is really about?
Yeah, but I like being an adult now.
Yeah. You damn near get to that point where you can't even blame your parents for some of the BS that they put you through, because you're like, damn, like, shoot, I probably would have been worse than them.
Yeah, maybe.
Because not everybody wakes up to this information. It takes some people lifetimes to get to where you're at right now. That's very important, very interesting. So then your middle name is, and I think we talked about this in your last reading. I was like, you got like a Chinese or like an Asian. You got a Chinese name.
Yeah.
Now, your dad gave you that name?
Yeah, he's weird. Well, he's not weird, but he's always been a unique guy.
And it's very interesting. It said it's a Chinese surname that can be spelled in 15 different ways in Chinese. That's very important because 5 plus 1 is 6. So this six energy, Virgo. This 6 Virgo energy is very important. And we're gonna find out how important this Virgo is in your chart, because your Chiron is in Virgo.
Yes, but my stellium in Capricorn is in the 6th house, which is the house of Virgo. So that's really
Yep. And your Chiron is in Virgo in the 2nd house. So this is a issue that you had from childhood that bleeds off into your adulthood, and it's almost in the craziest sign because it's in Virgo. So this is dealing with self-improvement, work routines. You have an issue when it comes to that. And then it's in your 2nd house. So this is the house of values, resources, resourcefulness, self-esteem, material security, attitude towards possessions. Something happened to you as a child, and whatever this was, this gave you a wound when dealing with working on your self-esteem, working on your values and your material security and your attitude towards your possessions, the way you improve these things. So we'll figure that out more when we get to that part.
Okay.
So this means to open up or to spread.
Okay.
It could also mean sheet of paper. Just looking at this in terms of what I just said about your Chiron and Virgo, it kind of explains that a little more. When you were younger, you probably opened up too much. You probably opened up too much that you started to spread yourself thin like a sheet of paper.
No, I'm listening. I was like nodding my head, but I was saying yes.
When you think about people who have Scorpio moon, this is almost the baby Oya. This is the baby Oya type of energy. Scorpio moon. It's very rare to find a baby Oya because a lot of times, baby Oyas have to grow up real fast. Well, Oyas in general. A lot of times they have to grow up real fast. A lot of them are disconnected from their childhood because either You know, they got into some abuse. They had some abuse as a child. And that kind of put a block when they're trying to do their shadow work. It puts a block on them where it's hard for them to go all the way to the deep issue. You know, because there was some trauma there. And, a lot of Oyas, they look at innocence as weakness, you know?
Okay.
Cause they're like, yo, like, if I had the strength that I had now as an adult, as a child, that person wouldn't have been able to abuse me, you know, sexually abuse me, or, you know, maybe I could have fought back. Yeah, maybe I could have fought back harder or whatever, you know? So, and then you got, your Scorpio moon is in your 4th house. So this is all things that you went through at the home, you know, a part of your life where your self-esteem is very contingent on the world that your parents put you in, because, you know, you got to stay in the child place. You're not at that point in your life yet where you can start to make your own decisions and create your own world. So it's like you're in this world. It's not your world, you know, it's a world that your parents created for you. And it's like you kind of got to deal with this for right now, until you're able to do your own thing.
Yeah.
So this call, huh?
I said, you're pretty good.
Your home life could have been almost like a prison sentence for your inner child, because you said what?
It really was.
Yeah, I would bet, because Scorpios, they don't like limits, they don't like boundaries. Like they like to express themselves. You know, they like to really express themselves to the max. You know, that's how they learn. It's like y'all learn by expressing yourself to the max, and the more y'all get spanked, or the more y'all go through stuff, that's where the wisdom comes in at.
Yeah.
And it's mostly based on you know, being sick and tired.
Yeah, I became like human, like I don't know how to explain it. When I was younger, I became like a natural psychologist. So I started being able to like diagnose in my head what was going on, and then I knew people were possessed when I was like 15. It was really weird. Well, no, because my a little backstory. My mom's boyfriend used to molest me, but he used to verbally assault me. He used to do all types of stuff. And my mom, and he didn't used to do nothing. And it's not weird, but it's weird because my little sister, he didn't used to bother her. He used to bother me. He was after me for some odd reason. And now I'm grown, I know. But yeah, he's real. He's a real live beast, though. Like, it's really crazy.
You say he's a real what?
A real live demon. No, he touches that.
Not only was it about power, you know, because you got Jupiter in your 4th house, so it was a power type of thing. And that power, you know, someone having power over you, or someone having control over you, you know, men who are in their lower nature, and they're in their lower nature and it's toxic, they can look at something as sexually abusing a little girl. They can get off on that because it's a power. It's like, you know, I got this power over you. It's like a power type of thing. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And Pluto, you got Pluto, 27 degrees in Scorpio, you know, so this is a this went deep into your subconscious. Like the things that happen to you, in your home, these Scorpio things that happen in your home, it affected you in a very, very deep Pluto type of way. But you're doing the shadow work on these things. It's gonna make people transform very deeply, a deep transformation, and you're gonna be able to help people transform their relationships and their self-improvement in general. You know, you being able to tell your story, and you being the lesson, because you know I'll be talking about being the lesson. And then when we talk about empowering, you being able to overcome those issues that you went through, it's gonna overpower you the most, or it's gonna empower you the most when it comes to the way you look at self-improvement, the way you look at your spirit work and your rituals and your routines and all of that stuff. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting how you said that happened to you as a child, but then you ended up joining a cult of a person that's a known child molester.
Right. So, and they're both cancer. I don't know. There's something going on with me. My boyfriend's a cancer moon. I don't like him. My baby father was a cancer moon. I don't like him. Is there something with me and cancer?
So it's showing you, and you know, cancer is over the 4th house.
Right.
You know, so the issues, the Scorpio issues that you went through in your 4th house, is coming out. It's coming out because you have Cancer in your 12th house. So this is you subconsciously attracting people and places and things to you that reminds you of that Pluto trauma that you went through as a child.
I told myself, I just keep manifesting Mr. Why am I doing this? That's what I told myself the other day.
And it's crazy because I think Tyler Perry is a Scorpio, either a Scorpio moon or ascendant, and he talked about how he got molested as a child, but it was happening for so long he started to like it. You know. Okay. And he started to and when it comes to some women, I'm not gonna say all, but when it comes to some women, psychologically, for them to make sense of what just happened, they start to look at it like that, you know, and it starts to warp their mind, especially if it happens to them as a child and they don't really understand what's going on. It starts to warp your mind, like, you know, maybe this is what true love is about. You know, maybe this is what, and you're not understanding that the reason why you keep attracting these same situations is because this is something that the baby Oya wants to learn about. You have to remember, Oya is a very primordial goddess. She's not like Oshun. You know, she's a lot older. She's a lot older than Oshun. She's primordial like Obanani. So the way primordial goddesses or gods, the way they learn, you know, it can kind of be very weird, you know, because it's like a lot of us that are more on the light side, like we're like, damn, like you should just have to go through this one time, or you should just have to go through something like one time and then you should get it. But more primordial entities, you know, they like to revel more into the darkness so they can learn more and more and more about themselves. And that's why they're a lot more wise, because they're willing to stay in the dark longer, if that makes sense. That's why Oya, in her older age, she's looked at as the wise Aunt Yansa. A lot of women are motivated by her because she spent a lot of time in very dark situations. And her being able to finally come to that realization that enough is enough, that's really what made her transform into the wise being that you see in front of you.
Okay.
So that's very important. You see how I'm able to break down just your first and middle name, and we came up with all this stuff.
Yep.
That's why breaking down your name is so important. A lot of people, they don't understand how important. Like, if they just knew how godly their name is, it'll make them want to do something more positive. It'll make them want to live, or it speaks life into you, knowing that your name is something powerful.